shy of 60 mile an hour is not to be sniffed at, really. Now, those that have watched the old videos of me saying I don't need an airspeed indicator will be screaming at me in the comments. So if I'm honest, why have I fitted it? Very relaxing, beautiful view.
So everyone, and welcome to the channel, and it's been a couple of weeks since I produced the last video, so I hope you enjoyed the Adam PB comparison with the 9 wing. If you haven't seen that, that will be up in the corner here or here for you to go and have a look at, or it'll be in the description. But other than that, hopefully you'll stay for this video. The 9 has got a few additions to it this time. And I know there's a video, again, I've also made on not needing an airspeed indicator, and I still stand by that. And I'm going to discuss why the instrument I've got on board has been fitted. So I'm going to go off. I'm actually going to do some straight line flying. I've done far too many flights recently where I'm going around in circles, so I'm going to go in straight line for a bit. I'm going to go north, try and find Bakewell, Chatsworth House, and maybe come back. I'm just going to enjoy the evening. It's a little bit strong up top, but we'll see how the 9 copes with it. I say I just want to get up and go for a fly and take you along with me and chat about some instrumentation. So see you on the taxi out.
Clip Rob! Choke off, should help it run a bit better. Well, it's very bright today, so the first check is I can use it with gloves. That's a good start. I don't know if the cameras will see any of this, but we have got swallows just absolutely buzzing around low level. So today's flight is purely just to see how things work, if they work at all, and just to get myself back up in the air, really. Been doing lots and lots of teaching lately. I just need to get my myself back up in the air for myself, really. Not complaining, but it is nice just to fly on your own sometimes. Well, so far the altimeter seems to be really accurate. It's noticed me move 2 feet up and down. And the temps are nearly warm, so swift. Dynamo traffic golf, Charlie Mike Romeo Foxtrot lining up for immediate departure, post hump on runway 01. Dynamo. Temps and pressures look good. Right, let's go fly. Full power. Few lumps and bumps, but let's get ourselves settled into a nice little cruise climb. EGTs look good, temps look good. Airspeed indicator seems to be reading as well. I've kept my UDI fitted today, purely because I want to make sure that there's some comparison between the two. So what have I got fitted to the aircraft, and why have I done it? Well, on my last trip, there was an issue with my UDI. I'm not saying it's getting a bit old and a bit tired, but wasn't quite giving me accurate information on my altitude. It didn't feel right, and so I thought, well, let's go for some standalone instrumentation that's not relied on a computer to do it. I say that basically is not relying on me using the UDI as my altitude and barometric. It is a barometric instrumentation. The UDI is a barometric instrument, but I want to make sure there's something as part of the aircraft, so if that ever shuts down, I've got something else that's the primary, and that's just a cursory. And if I don't want to fit it, I've still got instruments that will allow me to happily fly, keep clear of airspace. So what have I gone for? On the screen now, you will see the MGL BLAZE. Ian Moss, that I flew his 9 machine in America, had the 57mm one. Now, I'm not saying I've got old eyes, I've got quite good vision. I wear glasses, but I've got quite good distance vision. But having the 80mm version is quite nice, and there was about £5 difference between the two. So I went, well, there's loads of space on this dashboard. I fitted my stopwatch, so I've got time and everything. So it's sort of not just filling it up for filling up's sake, but it just sits there. There is a plethora of functions. It's got speed tapes that you can calibrate and everything. I've literally just fitted it, powered it up, and I'm using it. I just want to see what happens. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to recalibrate my UD on the fly. Come on. To the there we go, to the same pressure setting, and see what the difference is. And there's probably about 20 feet in it, so 1 hectopascal difference in the calibration. So that's actually not too bad. 28 feet per hectopascal. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that really. The other thing it's got is a vertical speed indicator, so I know whether I'm climbing or descending, and that's quite useful. And it seems to be matching, my my UD. So far, so good. Now those that have watched the old videos of me saying I don't need an airspeed indicator will be screaming at me in the comments, screaming at me, going, you said you didn't need an airspeed indicator. And I'm still abide by that fact of I don't need an airspeed indicator. Let's try and get some altitude. Because the bar position and the sensors all tell you what's going on. And so the reason I've got it is primarily for the altitude information. It happened to have an airspeed indicator, so that's the reason I've got it. Let's try and get some height. You definitely feel the torque of this engine when you go into the higher power settings. It really does want to try and roll the aircraft a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty much within about 20 feet. But I don't know how accurate that millibar pressure setting is, or hectopascal, or that hectopascal setting is. So, but yeah, they're about 20 feet difference, so I'm quite happy with that. And the beauty is that where it's positioned right now is the bar is not in the way, and I can actually see it. Not quite sure whether that's accurate, but it's saying it's 59 or 60 miles an hour. But I am in the mid-hang point setting, so that's probably about right. So again, hopefully I'll put a bit of a satellite view of Dovedale on the screen, or the zooming Google Earth for where Dovedale is. And we're approaching Thorpe Cloud now. It's probably late in the evening and there aren't going to be anyone around it. But it is a little bit of a walk up to Thorpe Cloud. So bearing in mind the airspeed indicator is fresh out of the box. I've tried to make sure that it's fitted in accordance with the flylight instructions. So I'm quite pleased with that really. But I'm about 6'4", 6,400, 6'5", at 60 something miles an hour. Now whether I've just been making the aircraft fly slower before, but yeah, just shy of 60 mile an hour is not to be sniffed at really. So if I'm honest, why have I fitted it? Do I really need it? I don't really need it. There are other systems out there that kind of give you a nice flavour of what's going on. Do I really need the airspeed indicator? Not at all. It was just the one that came with it. I didn't just want an Altiv Aereo. It was the option that came with it. So yeah, that's the reason why. And yeah, and it's big enough to read. It's big enough to use with these are my winter gloves. I can adjust it. So yeah, yeah, and it's pretty much 20 feet different from my UD, which is more than enough. So yeah, gadgets and gizmos, it's all good. It's just nice to be up at the minute. Not perfectly smooth, but it's just nice to be up, away and out and buzzing around. I've also been learning quite a lot more about these float bowl carbs. They do feel a little bit black magic. Nowhere near as much information as you get with a Rotax bin carb, but the 28 carb that's fitted to this is different to the standard 28. And yeah, just trying to get the EGT settings right, so that I'm not cooking anything. Water temperatures are right, it's nice, sitting nicely at 80 degrees. Is it smooth? Much smoother than it has been. It's not jumping around. I have noticed my hand throttle isn't holding at the right RPM. Back on the foot throttle, and it is staying where I leave it. So yeah, hands off. 59 miles an hour, 58. Oops, so I dropped the power there, probably didn't help that. 60, yeah. I think I'm going to say my hands off trim is about 60 miles an hour, which is what I was getting when I flew Ben's machine with the calibrated airspeed indicator. 6,500 is pretty much level. 6.4, let's try and find out what I do actually need for level flight. That's 6.5, yep. Right then, let's see if I can rejoin the circuit. So QFE is 993. 4992, 993. Right, 1,500 feet, that's good. Dialing more traffic, Golf Charlie Mike Romeo Foxtrot, inbound from the northwest for dead side join for runway 01. Dialing more. Been flying about 25 minutes, it's been bliss. Absolute bliss to just get back up. So one thing I am going to try and do on the approach is glance at the airspeed to see what I'm feeling for the airspeed and what it's actually telling me. There was a comment from someone recently asking me, what's your approach speed? And I actually didn't have an answer. And then I only had the figures that I had from when I flew the 9 in America. And again, I wasn't sure how accurate that was. So if you've got any questions or want me to go and show you some more bits and pieces about this particular gauge, the one thing I am pleased about is I'm not getting too much interference on the radio. Well, I say too much, not that I can notice. I'm getting great transmission on reception. I don't know what it's like on broadcast. Looks like a little bit of a cheeky front coming in over there. I think I've made the best of the weather. Right, let's get the thing down. Now, as Paul and I both like with our these 9s, they do come down quick. 700 feet per minute. 900 feet per minute. 1,000 feet per minute. Dialing more traffic, Golf Charlie Mike Romeo Foxtrot, late downwind for runway 01. Dialing more. Very relaxing. Beautiful view. Worth the effort. Let's start coming down. I always find it quite magical seeing the shadow on the underside of your wing. Dialing more traffic, Golf Romeo Foxtrot, final runway 01 grass. Dialing more. Well, that's a smidge over 60. 60. 60, just enough bar pressure, 60, looking long, rounding out, 60, 56, and we're down. Not the prettiest, but that was a squirrely final approach. I think I rounded that a bit higher there.
So what are my thoughts on the gadgets and gizmos? The main point as well, so the main instrument and what I was going to fly tonight, the airspeed indicator. I thought I was meant to be flying slower than I was, but I realised that having landed, that when I flew the 9 in America, it was on the rear hang point. This is on the mid hang point, and so there is that difference of about 7 or 8 miles an hour between the two. So that's why I was hands off trim, 6,500 RPM, pretty much kept me at level flight at 59, 60 miles an hour. Most of the time it was bang on 60. So that's quite a nice planning figure to have that as an airspeed. And say tonight, I don't think I'd be going very far in a PB, but I would be going far in this, and it's just nice to have that information to plan against. So am I impressed with it? At the moment I'm going to dig more into the features of what it can do. I think I need to check whether there's things I need to set up. I think I change the refresh rate just to settle it down. But it's nice just having that information to know what's going on, what the aircraft can or cannot do. But descending at 1,000 feet per minute without really pulling back too much on the bar, I was quite impressed with that. And I say going up and the climb rate, you can see what you're doing. So yes, I'm definitely glad I fitted it. It wasn't too difficult to install. So if you're going to buy it as an add-on, it will automatically come installed anyway. But I was very, very impressed with it, and I'm glad I've gone for the larger one for the installation. I appreciate that's quite a long outro. If there's anything more you'd like to see with the 9, a more detailed walk around, etc., where there's rigging or de-rigging, the rigging on this thing is really, really easy, especially if it's on the trike. Let me know in the comments of what you'd like to see. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been a bit more informative than just me bimbling around and having a natter about life, universe and everything. But we'll wrap this video up here, and until next time, everybody, fly safe.